All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the transmission and reception of the autonomic nervous system. Last video, I said the autonomic nervous system is comprised of the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. But how do we talk to our target organs or target tissue? How do we actually get from the brain, where the signal originates, to its destination? That's what we're going to go over today. So we're going to start with the parasympathetic system first, actually. So both the sympathetic and parasympathetic system have two neurons that are involved in this pathway. The first neuron starts at the brain, or the CNS. It's called the preganglionic neuron. The second neuron in the pathway is called the postganglionic neuron. After the postganglionic neuron, we have our target tissue or organ. Let's begin. So our journey starts in the CNS, or in the brain, and we have a nerve or neuron there. This neuron, called the preganglionic neuron, it's going to synapse with another neuron past the spinal cord. This postganglionic neuron, or the second neuron in this pathway, has specific receptors called nicotinic receptors. They are on the dendrites of the second order neuron, or this postganglionic neuron. What's going to happen is the preganglionic neuron is going to secrete acetylcholine from the synaptic terminal. It's going to go through the synapse and bind to nicotinic receptors. After it binds to the nicotinic receptors, we're going to get an action potential in the postganglionic neuron. It's going to go down to the synaptic terminal, and it's going to release acetylcholine. However, we are now at the target tissue or organ. Pretend this could be the heart or stomach or somewhere it's binding. The receptor is called a muscarinic receptor. Please note that this is the parasympathetic system, and the receptor is not called nicotinic receptor on the target tissue, but it's called muscarinic receptor. They both bind with ACH, so nicotinic receptor binds to ACH, but also muscarinic receptor binds with ACH, acetylcholine. Why are they different names? I have absolutely no idea. They just want to make life more difficult. If anything, if for me, I would name a nicotinic receptor as well, but it's not. It's called muscarinic receptor. They both still bind the same neurotransmitter, acetylcholine. They just have different names. So the one on the neuron is called nicotinic receptor. The one on the target tissue or organ is called muscarinic receptor. Okay? Let's move to the sympathetic system. We have the same exact deal here. We got the preganglionic neuron in the CNS that starts, or in the brain. It goes down the spinal cord, and it synapses with the postganglionic neuron near the organ of our destination, whatever destination we are going to. This postganglionic neuron has nicotinic receptors just like the parasympathetic system. Exact same. The preganglionic neuron also secretes acetylcholine from the synaptic terminal. They are absolutely identical in this stage. What changes is when you get to the postganglionic neuron towards synapsing with the target tissue. The postganglionic neuron, when it fires at action potential, it's going to go down the synaptic terminal, and the synaptic terminal is going to release norepinephrine. I apologize, I did not write norepinephrine here. Okay. Norepinephrine. I apologize. Those are the square-looking things. That's a neurotransmitter, norepinephrine. The receptors on the target tissue for the sympathetic nervous system that bind with norepinephrine are called adrenergic receptors. Notice it kind of sounds like adrenaline. It's because norepinephrine is essentially adrenaline. That's a good way to memorize it. They are not called muscarinic receptors. They are called adrenergic receptors because they bind with norepinephrine and not acetylcholine. That is very important to understand. So let's do a recap here, really quick recap. So the parasympathetic system, both neurons secrete acetylcholine, the preganglionic and postganglionic. The first receptor on the postganglionic is called the nicotinic receptor. The receptor on the target tissue is called the muscarinic receptor. Now going to the sympathetic system, the preganglionic is exactly like the parasympathetic system for the preganglionic. They both secrete acetylcholine. The postganglionic both have nicotinic receptors, so the sympathetic has nicotinic receptors. The difference is that the postganglionic, when it approaches its target tissue or organ, it secretes norepinephrine instead, and it binds to adrenergic receptors, not muscarinic. There are usually midterm questions on this specific pathway, and you need to know the difference between muscarinic, adrenergic receptors, norepinephrine, acetylcholine, and nicotinic. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. A little bit of an announcement. I may not make a video tomorrow because there is apparently a hurricane coming over San Diego. That's where I live. Hurricane Hillary. It's downgraded to a tropical storm, but I got heads up that there's may not be any power or internet. Just a little heads up. I want to try to make a video. No tropical storm is gonna stop me. Learning is important. You guys need to get A's. So that's just a little heads up. If I don't see you tomorrow, it'll be the next day. Until then, later.